Welcome to the Miro TV. We offer you news, local, national, and international, on politics, religious, and sociocultural events, project work documentary, live documentary. Contact us today through our uniform resource locator URL https://www.youtube.com/@themirrortv. And do not forget to subscribe and drop your comments as we give you updates on daily basis.
And I'm very surprised and shocked that this is happening because the governor, from what I could see, has been very loyal to this man. Remember when they were moving from one party to the other, right? Typically, you will negotiate with the other party where the place you are going, they will either give you the PDP, the deputy governor thing. He insisted, remember the drama where he says, it's either me and my governor or nothing. And SHAIBU'S is one of the most governors that I know of in terms of the kind of authority he's been given. So I was surprised at this development, and I think it comes out to human nature where people often forget, okay, their position or their role in any scenario. The deputy governor is not by any means even close to the governor. The deputy governor is barely above a commissioner under Nigerian Constitution. So when you start to carry yourself as if you are almost having the same power with your governor, or you don't care about the politics or the where your governor is going, you are going to end up where he ended up. With all due respect, I don't know both of them personally, but my point is, I think this all comes down to human ego, lack of appreciation of the power dynamics. Okay, because when you start, let's call it spade a spade. The governor has telegraphed his choice of a successor, and you then come out and say you want to run as governor. Basically, you are opposing your boss, and over again we see this happen. And this became an inevitability at the time he decided to take them to court first, and they ultimately lost that. That's what I say is a clash of personalities, but that's not even right. You can't have clash of personalities with your boss. You're going to lose. You have clash of ideas of personality with people of equal level, and the governor just showed him that we are not mates, and that is the politics of it. Let's just call it what it is, and this is my own opinion. But if you are a savvy political operator, you will know that it's a suicide mission unless you are really sure that you've got the power to go after against the wishes of your governor while you are still his deputy. Now, coming back to the issue of power, let's be frank, it's a constitutional problem that we are operating right now. Go and look at section 193 that listed the powers of the deputy governor, for instance. It was never mentioned in isolation. Basically, he has no power. You will hear the governor, okay, along with his deputy governor and commissioners. All the powers of the deputy governor were mentioned in the context of commissioners too. So yes, his primus inter pares, in my own opinion, the deputy governor, that's why I say slightly higher than the commissioner, because he's the one that is designated constitutionally to succeed the governor if he dies or he falls sick and all that. So to that extent, he's a bit higher than commissioner, but he has no other power other than that is higher than that of a commissioner, or the one that is given by the governor. And you are a human being, with all due respect. If I'm the governor and I have a deputy governor that decides to buck my will while we are still running, I'll crush him. It's just the way it is. And the constitution allows you to do that. There is nothing wrong with ambition. Let's be frank. When this thing started developing, those of us who make public commentary, I tried to do some investigation to find out what's going on. Why is SHAIBU now all of a sudden fighting his governor? Because they are very close. They are 5 and 6. Then I found out that the governor had already telegraphed who he was going to be supporting before SHAIBU showed interest in being a governor. And he never, and again I may be proved wrong from what I understand, SHAIBU never informed his governor that he wants to be a governor himself, or that he wants to succeed him. Where is that done? Now, if you, as my deputy governor, you want to run to succeed me, don't you think this is not even just African thing. Even in America, you will have to talk with your governor first, get his buy-in, because you know how powerful he is. You know every governor will have an interest on who's going to succeed them. He should have been making his move years ago. But from what I understood, and I could be proved wrong, I wasn't there, I don't know the full facts, but from my understanding, the governor already telegraphed before he showed interest. And at that point, it was too late. But he never, let's even assume that he has ambition. And he expects the governor to support him because he has supported the governor for so many years. That's legit. But shouldn't he go and make a formal, or at least let the governor know? Then let the governor say, I'm not supporting you. That way, he will have mouth to talk. But if you never want to meet the governor because you already assume that he's not going to support you, then it's on you. Let's be frank. You can have ambition. Nobody is saying you shouldn't have ambition. But like they say in Yoruba language, I don't want to speak to you, but they say, and let me just say, for those who can translate, they say, enter where about it or something like that. In other words, if you don't have the muscle financially, politically, to buck somebody who is higher than you in the political hierarchy, they're just going to deal with you. Go and ask Oshibaju. Okay, Oshibaju didn't go against Buhari, right? But he went against his own political godfather that he knew was going to be a president. He wants to be a president for many years. And he doesn't have the political base to do that. He didn't have the political base. He didn't have the political power. He doesn't have the aggression or ruthlessness to go after Jagaban. So they crushed. Same way, Ladoja did the same thing. He had to defend the governor. Okay, I'm not going to say I'm even part of their party or part of what they do. I've never been to a blue state, so he became governor. But my point is, we are all living in the real world. Yes, it is. Somebody should have ambition. I have nothing wrong against that. But you are talking politics. In politics, you try to cut the powers of somebody who's about to oppose your will. It is what it is. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm just saying you'll be naive to cut that out. Ambition alone is not enough in politics. You have to play the game. Why did Peter Obi not win? I'm a Peter Obi guy, everybody knows that. But why did he not win? You have to cut the relationships that will give you the power. It's not enough for you to be good. It's not enough for you to be intelligent. You have to cut the power base, the people that can help you achieve your objective. And when you don't do that, you lose. So if he wants to be governor and he's not getting the buy-in of his governor, if I were him, I would have negotiated with the governor that, okay, Daddy, I know I cannot go now. After as a young man, right? He's much younger than the governor. So, okay, I know that you have your choice, but I've been with you for 8 years. Give me some guarantees with this your choice that when he gets in, I'm going to get this. That's the best he can offer. Even the great Jagaban, when he was scared I cannot run for VP, all he can do is negotiate with Buhari now to nominate who's going to be the VP. That's politics. Politics is not for the saints. So ambition is good, but those who are going to help you actualize the ambition, if you antagonize them, you die. It's the way it is. You can't, especially governorship level, at least until they change the constitution, which I think is makes the governor all too powerful, and that's why we're dealing with this. But I deal with reality. As a commentator, I don't deal with emotion. If you want to run for governor, as a deputy governor, and you don't have the buy-in of your sitting governor, you really have, some have done it, but 70% of the time, you don't even get to leave to run for that election. That's why they just show SHAIBU now. That yeah, you think you have power now because you've made some money, because you have done all of this, but you won't even be there to run. And the governor played this card. Do I think the governor is right or wrong? I'm not making a judgment, but it's politics. And I'm not a hypocrite. If I'm a governor and I've decided this is the person I think I'm going to support for one reason or the other to succeed me, and you work in my government now decide that you want to buck that person, then I'm not going to wait for you to come and defeat me at the election time if I can take you out early enough. So I think if I'm going to call a spade, that is what happened. And unfortunately for SHAIBU, we have a constitution where the National Assembly don't even need to prove anything specific, because our constitution did not define what is misconduct. So it is very clear on the procedure for removing a governor or deputy governor. For whatever reason, the drafters of the constitution, they have more or less made the decision to impeach somebody, to impeach the deputy governor, a political decision not a legal one, because it just says they can remove him for anything. This is important, that they consider to be misconduct. And there was no definition of the majority of the State House that constitutes misconduct. Then that's what constitutes misconduct. The court cannot even review that, so that you understand. Legally, the court can review whether they followed the 8 or 9 processes under Section 188. If they didn't follow all those 8 processes, then the court will review and probably restore him, like they did for Ladoja and Peter Obi when he was removed as governor. But the court did not look into whether what he did constitutes misconduct or not. The court cannot do that. Section 10 of Section 188 made that very clear. The court can, and the Supreme Court has even ruled on that, that the court cannot look into what exactly constitutes misconduct or not. What the court can do is to review whether they followed all the processes as listed in Section 188. So SHAIBU'S salvation now is to go gather his lawyers, then they'll look at the fine print of Section 188 versus subsections 1 to 10. And if there's any of them that they did not follow, then he may win in court. But if they followed all those 9 steps, of luck. It is what it is, and I'm talking legal now. All right? Unless you can show me there's any part in the Constitution that defines what exactly is misconduct. And there's not, unfortunately, and that's why we need to amend the Constitution. I think that leaving it vague has now made it possible for governors to remove their deputies for frivolous reasons, and legally too. Now, I'm not saying this is frivolous. I'm not making any professional judgment on the reason, but you and I know the reason, whatever it is they are calling. And as human nature and as politics is concerned, okay, you can't discount that. Politics is not legal. Politics is human relationship. Politics is exercise of power. You don't have enough power. If he had the control of the state assembly, maybe he had majority control. And then that means he has the power to resist being impeached. Then he can go after his governors. It's been done before, but if it doesn't have that, which obviously it didn't, but they got 18 people out of 24 to impeach him, when they needed only 16 or so. So obviously he didn't do his own work. And he just didn't want to do gra-gra and be fighting his governor. It's Ajekoya. I'm sorry, I don't know both of them. I know some people in the Edo government. I'm not going to give you, I'm not the hypocrite, and I'm not going to tell you I don't know anybody in the Edo state government. I do, but I've never talked to them about this before all of this happened. I don't know. I didn't even know they were impeaching the guy until a few days ago. So, to me, it's an issue of him not understanding the politics that he has found himself, or thinking that their role constitutionally, going back to legal now, is very clear. Section 188 is very clear. Unless SHAIBU is saying they did not follow the process in Section 188, is very clear. How does it get started? In Section 2 of Section 188 is that whenever a notice of any allegation in writing signed by not less than 1/3 of the members of the National Assembly, stating that the misconduct, and that misconduct is not defined. They will give details. In his own case, they said he disclosed official government information to the public. If that really happened, that's a misconduct by any standard. In fact, it's going towards espionage. So when you leak state secrets to people outside, you are flirting with espionage at the global level. So they gave their reason, which is all they are required to do by law. Now, whether those reasons are valid, the State Assembly does not have power to examine that before they then appoint a panel through the chief judge. So the procedure allows them to do that. So when you are saying does the State Assembly have any power here? They received a letter, from what I heard, signed by more than 8 people, saying that this man is guilty of a misconduct. That starts the process right there. And even the section, let me look for it now. It says within that letter, right? Then they will serve it on the holder of that position that they want to impeach, whether they have debated or not. They are not even required by the Constitution. It's crazy to debate the legitimacy of or rather the allegations. They are not allowed to debate that. If they don't want to, it's right there. The next thing that happens is, then within 14 days out of that, they will write to the governor, the chief judge, to appoint a panel to look into the allegation. And that is where stories can start. So when the panel is appointed, then everybody is allowed to come there and say what they have to say. The deputy governor will be notified. He can go there and go and write a statement or give evidence or whatever he needs to do. Then the panel will then decide whether his conduct has been proved or not.